Oh, INFJs, especially you young ones, what holds you back? What holds back our vision, our change, our defiance of the status quo, our innate leadership abilities that help those break their chains and transcend a false fate of which they feel they are damned to endure? What does, beyond timing, and timing's part of it, is our crippling perfectionism, which I've talked about before, but it's time to talk about it again. Because for INFJs to make our lives better, to take action towards getting the things we truly want, we often procrastinate to the point where it is no longer viable to take that specific chance. Why? Because the timing's never right, but also we have in our heads these grandiose, elaborate plans. Because, with perfectionism, nothing's ever good enough. We have to go above and beyond what anybody else would do and, like show our attention to detail and how we notice things other people don't. And it all has to come together in this cacophony of sort of like, well, it depends on the situation. Either like transcendent knowledge and ability and attention to detail, or like, uh, you know, transcendent sort of like romance that only a Casanova can top, especially if he's also an INFJ. But that limits it to me. So, don't worry. The competition I'm like a myth. But anyway, that is what will constantly hold you back. That crippling perfectionism of, oh no, I can't do it now because of this, and this has to fall into place, and I gotta do this, and if I gotta learn this information, I don't have enough intel, and it's, I'm too tired, or my voice is cracking, or not, or raspy, or gravelly, or I'm hungover. Yeah. Oh, a lot of memories coming back. So, thing you have to overcome is, if you feel you have any legitimate chance of success, you must then take said shot at success with somehow overcoming your propensity to overthink, or, that you have to do this grand gesture far beyond what anybody else would do to prove yourself, because that is another part of INFJ perfectionism. As much as perfectionist as we are in pretty much everything, the worst of it, the worst, who gets the worst of that perfectionism is us. We are hardest on ourselves. So we have this constant feeling of never being good enough, particularly if we were raised by a narcissist like me, that makes you feel that you can't succeed. And the only way to succeed is to further feed into that perfectionism and take it to extreme levels and, express who you are and your uniqueness and individuality and INFJness. That's a thing, that's a verb, beyond what anybody could ever imagine, and fully and truly express your true self. Not easy for us to begin with, but the more we learn, the more details we learn, the higher that bar comes. Because it's like, oh, I know this, and I got to work this and that, and then there's the whole thing of the factors we can't control, like timing, and that drives us nuts. We're close to it. But that will be something that you constantly have to deal with. You have to get to a point where you're like, pretty sure I got a real shot, and take it. You can't fall back into that perfectionist mode thinking that, well, I gotta wait for the perfect moment, because no moment is ever perfect, no matter how much you bend the rules of chance, be it through the occult or planning or both. There's always factors you can't control. Even your most planned out plan can go to shit. You could have something planned and it's like, oh yeah, in a week I'm gonna do it, and maybe that's one day too late. Maybe everything that you thought was falling into place it's no longer a viable plan because a lot of things could happen. It depends on the situation. But that is basically what I'm trying to say is when your intuition tells you to go for something, that is when you do it. Yeah, that's when you have your best shot. That's your own mind telling you now's the time. Not that we fear change, because we don't. We feel fear failure. It's a part of perfectionism. So we talk ourselves into the need for more knowledge, and then the NITI loops come, and we overthink some more, and then we get out of it and decide that it's time to go for it, and it could be too late. So keep that in mind, INFJs, especially you younglings. When your intuition tells you to do something, it's telling you to do it then. Yeah, then. Don't overthink it for weeks or months. We all have. I have. Depending on the situation, I still might delay it for weeks. My days of overthinking things for months, luckily, have passed, but weeks. I also have this weird kind of curse on me where it's like whenever I'm this close to something that's like, that I really want, some third party comes in and bombs it to hell. And the third party never has anything to gain. They're not gaining anything by doing it. They're not somebody from my past that has a legitimate or illegitimate vendetta. It's always somebody random that it's just like, I want to burn it to watch it burn because I can watch it burn. And fuck this guy, because he scares me. He doesn't care about status quo or norms and just does whatever the fuck he wants. And that terrifies me because I thrive on, the status quo and corruption and nepotism and good old boys clubs and cronyism and all that crap that I fight against. Those are usually the types, or bullshitters or narcissists or borderlines. Well, I think at this point you get my point. Keep in mind also, if this video was helpful, to join my Patreon. None of you are doing it. Makes me sad. Makes me overthink. Also, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. That's free. So there's really no excuse other than, I don't want to like this channel and my subscription. If I got nobody coming out there in this country. But nonetheless, just do it anyway. Again, free. If this was helpful, check out my playlist. There's more videos like this in the INFJ folder. There's also narcissism videos and witchcraft videos. And, you think the occult can help, find me on Instagram. It shouldn't be hard. It's linked in the description of the channel. So I hope this was helpful. Stop with the perfectionism and trust your intuition. Because, well, what's worse than failing? What ifs? Ooh. You think perfectionism drives your mind nuts and haunts you. It's nothing compared to what ifs. Trust me, younglings.